大家好，我是戴淑萱，我来自英国，欢迎回到我的频道。你听过英式幽默吗？也许你以前听过一些笑话，但你并不理解它们吗？英式幽默有很多方面，解释幽默当然很具有挑战性，但其中一个很重要的方面就是双关语。这些双关语我们用英文可以说 puns，British puns。在英国人们现在对双关语着迷，他们无处不在，似乎所有公司都试图在营销中使用双关语。为什么？因为他们有趣、好笑，有时候很可爱、很聪明，他们应该会让你发笑，应该会吸引你的注意。问题是，并非所有双关语都那么好笑，其中许多真的很糟糕。今天我将向你展示一些我在我的家乡布莱顿拍摄的双关语照片，并且解释它们为什么是双关语。让我们来看看你会不会觉得它们很好笑。你如果喜欢今天的影片，记得留言跟我分享你最喜欢的双关语是哪一个。那我们开始吧。我收集的双关语有24个，这些都是我最近在路上突然看到的双关语，我就拍个照为大家解释一下它的意思。第一个是 spoon it like you love it. This was seen on a bus stop, as you can see, and the advert is for a yogurt. Now, in order to understand this advert, you need to know what spooning something means. So, you know when you're in bed with your partner and you sort of sit like two bananas next to each other? The person behind is sort of shaped like this, like a spoon. So that's called spooning someone, and this person behind is called the big spoon, and the person in front is called the little spoon. So that's the meaning of to spoon. It's kind of cute, but I suppose it's also a tiny bit sexual maybe, because you usually just spoon people who you're in a romantic relationship with. I'm not sure about you, but that's how it usually goes. So why have they talked about spooning people in a yogurt advert? Well, they've used the word spoon appropriately because you use a spoon to eat the yogurt. So they're making a pun with the word spoon. Spoon it like you love it. But instead of spooning your partner, you're going to spoon this yogurt. So it's like a little bit funny, a little bit cute, right? That's the point of this advert. 你会常常发现，常常这些双关语其实有一点黄色。有时候你看到第一个广告，你会觉得，我不懂，应该很没意思，很简单，但其实它有一点 dirty or surprising or sexual。也许我们可以多讨论为什么我们的幽默是这样子的，是不是因为传统来说我们的文化比较被压抑，所以我们来开玩笑的时候，我们会觉得 sex、going to the toilet 这些事情特别好笑，是不是因为这些事情原本是一种忌讳，所以说出来会让人觉得有一点突然，有一点好笑，所以某人说出来的时候会让我觉得好笑，可能是这样，是不是？不是所有的有黄色的意思，只是第一个会这样。接下来还有别的，但是下一个是 find a job that works for you. Why is this a pun? Well, we're talking about the word work here. To work for you means to suit you, right? 适合你。Like, I don't think that this color works for me. What do you think? But in this case, it's a job that works for me. You know, like being a YouTuber, I'm not sure if that works for me. Do you think being a YouTuber works for me? So we know this phrase now, and we can also see that this is an advert for finding work. It's a recruitment agency, an online place to put your CV so that you can find a job called a CV library. So of course in this situation, the word work can also mean a job, like 工作，所以不仅有适合我的意思，同时也有工作的意思，所以这是非常适合这种情况的一个双关语。我觉得他们用的不错，因为两个意思都有道理，都有逻辑。So this one, I don't think it's funny, but it's an interesting, clever use of words, basically. 下一个 eco loo roll that doesn't cost a buttload. Okay, so this toilet roll company is perfectly positioned to make loads of puns to do with the toilet, and they're likely to be funny for the reasons I've just said about British humour, and we find toilet humour quite funny usually. So you might know the word butt is 屁股. We usually say bum, I think, in the UK. Butt is kind of more an American word, but a buttload means a huge amount. And we do have the phrase, it cost a buttload. That means it was so expensive. Like, did you go on safari last week? Yeah, it cost a buttload. It was so expensive. So again, appropriately, this advert is saying that the toilet roll doesn't have to be expensive, but also this word butt happens to be suited to the situation of toilet roll. So it sounds kind of funny, it sounds interesting, it sounds a bit clever. Unlike in Mandarin, English doesn't have loads of situations where you can find puns. So when people are able to find them and both of the meanings actually work for that situation, it is considered a skill. It's quite funny. If you can do this in conversation, people will definitely laugh in a good way usually. Or they might cringe if it's not a very good pun, but they'll see that you're someone who's trying trying to be funny and they will actually appreciate that, even if that particular pun wasn't the funniest in the world. Now I know that in Mandarin there are loads of possibilities for puns because so many of the words sound similar. It's just like the tone is different or something. So you're probably not going to find these funny. You're just going to be like, okay, so use the word, so what? But you know, these marketing companies, they will spend a long time trying to find these puns. It's not an easy thing to do, and to find one that works, that's funny, that's cool, that sticks, is a challenge. Having said that, I do see a lot of lazy puns. Like you just found a word that sounds similar, but it's not interesting. It doesn't sound good. It's not funny. So I think people can get lazy with their marketing and they just try and find a word that sounds similar, even if it doesn't even make sense for the situation. So I'd recommend, if you're watching this video and you're getting ideas for how you're going to market your company, yes, you can try puns, but I would check them with a native speaker first. Otherwise they can sound a bit too cringy and maybe like you're just trying to do the pun thing, but it's not really that funny. Loads and loads of companies are doing that at the moment, I have noticed. And it bothers me when I see bad adverts because I'm like, you've spent a lot of money on this. Why not just find a better pun, or just don't do the pun thing? You know, there's other ways to market your product without it being a pun. Anyway, the next one is just a small one. It's a cupcake shop called Cloud9. Cloud9 is used to refer to a state of bliss, like you're in heaven. So if you're really, really happy, you can say I'm on Cloud9. But it's like a blissful, like blissed out kind of state. Like if your partner gave you a spa treatment, gave you a weekend of pampering and massages and stuff like that, and you could say, wow, I'm on Cloud9. It's not used that often, but everyone knows what Cloud9 means. So obviously Cloud9 is quite an appropriate name for this cupcake shop because cupcakes taste good and so they're going to make you happy. And their little tagline here is a taste of heaven. But we also have a phrase which is a taste of something, which means to try something. And it's not necessarily food related. A taster session in windsurfing is basically like a trial class. I go and try windsurfing for one session for free. So 2 uses of the word taste, and they've done that pretty well. Quite simple. It's not shocking. It's not hilarious. It's not going to really make me look, but it's just a little cute thing. Okay, we're coming back to the loo roll because I've seen their puns everywhere. They're doing quite well with their marketing, I would say. This eco loo roll company's name is actually Who Gives a Crap. Now, a crap is a different word for poo, and who gives a crap means who cares. So there's the phrase who cares, who gives a crap, but crap can also mean poo. So even their company name is using a pun. Now in this advert it says give back with your backside. Your backside means your bum, your bottom. To give back means to contribute or to donate towards something. So if someone does something really nice for you, you might want to give that back. You want to pay back the favor and do something nice for them in return. The point being with this loo roll is that 50% of their profits are donated to charity. So they're using the word back twice to sound kind of fun, and also of course using the word for pigul, backside. So yeah, that seems to work. All right, the next one is live the gut life. I'm not sure about this. I don't think it really works. Gut is supposed to sound like good here, and your gut is your digestive system. This advert is for products to do with your gut health, your digestive health. So it says on the side energy, immunity, mental performance. So it might be something like a probiotic or something that you eat to help with your gut. But yeah, we also have a phrase which is to live the good life. Like maybe I just bought a brand new bed and it's really big and I've put a massive TV up in front of the bed. So then I lie down and I'm like, yeah, living the good life. That's how you could use that phrase maybe. But the reason I don't really think this pun is that good is because good and gut sound quite different to me. But you know, maybe some people would like this one. Next, we have an advert that was in the shop window of a pizza place and it says, it's all about that bass. Now to understand this, you need to know the song that's like, it's all about that bass, no trouble.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble.
So that's a song by Meghan Trainor, and in the song the word bass is spelled B-A-S-S, so that's the lowest sounding pitch or instrument or voice. So you know the big speakers that go doo doo doo, that's called a bass because it's like super low sounding. The meaning of the song is I love the low sounds and treble is like higher sounds. I'm not about that. I just want to do the low ones, yeah. I always thought she was saying trouble, but it's actually treble, which is higher frequency. She just wants the low frequencies, not those high ones, like ooh, yeah, doosh, 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 doosh. So back to the pizza. In this case, they've spelt it B-A-S-E, meaning the foundational layer. In the case of a pizza, it is the pizza base, like the actual pizza. So yeah, it's related to pizza, and it also has another meaning because we know the song. So kind of funny, I suppose. Next, we have an advert for Prêt à Manger, which is like a cafe a fast food restaurant place and it says, eat on the bright side. Now, I don't really like this one because we do have a phrase which is look on the bright side, and that means to see the good in a situation. Like maybe it's terrible weather today, but let's look on the bright side, we get a day off work or something like that. So it's like the silver lining. So you can also say like finding the silver lining in something. So that's great, but eat and look don't sound similar. They've just put the word eat in there. So I'm not sure about this one. I personally don't think it works that well. But yeah, I guess the meaning is conveyed, which is eat and happy. Buy our stuff. There was also another pun inside Pret a Manger, which says sip, sip, hooray. So you might have heard the phrase hip, hip, hooray, like at the end of singing someone's birthday song, happy birthday to you, hip, hip, hooray. It's just a way of like celebrating, a celebratory phrase. So they've obviously replaced hip for sip, and sip happens to be taking a sip of your drink. So that is related to their product. I think this one kind of works. Okay, here's an interesting one. It says feeling setsy. So a set means different things that are together, work together, or match, or something like that. You know, maybe we could have a cutlery set. So you've got your forks, your knives, your spoons, and maybe also your crockery, like your plates and your bowls, and they all match together. They're all like a similar color. So that is a set. Now in this bra shop, a set would be your bra and your pants matching, being the same color. That is what a set is in this situation. And of course, setsy sounds like sexy. I personally don't think this works because what is setsy? That's not a thing. Setsy. I honestly think that the average English speaker is going to have to do some mental gymnastics to even know what they're talking about here. Like I showed this to someone I know and they were like, set? What is a set? I mean, granted they were a man, so maybe they don't know that there's like sets in a bra shop. But yeah, I think they're clutching at straws here. That's another good phrase for you. To clutch at straws means to be really trying to find the best of a bad bunch. Like you haven't got that many options, so you're trying to pick something, but it's not even that good. It's like desperate to find something. Desperate to find a pun, so they're clutching at straws. Next, we have this advert for M&S Cafe, and it has a picture of pancakes, and it says, flipping delicious. So you might know that the word to flip means to turn something over like this. Like you might flip the page of a magazine, or you might even flip your hair like that. Or if I'm lying on the floor, I might just flip over, turn over to my other side. So in the case of pancakes, of course, it means when you get the pancake like this and you flip it. So that's fine. But why is this a pun? Well, flipping delicious, this is an adverb, a British slang adverb, meaning absolutely or totally. This is flipping fantastic. That means absolutely amazing. This is flipping good weather, isn't it? That means this is bloody good weather, like really good weather. Now you know that flipping in British slang means really or totally or absolutely. The next advert here, which was outside a restaurant, says flex your taste muscles. Now, if you don't know what mussels are, they're a type of seafood and they're in the picture here. So inside the black shell, those are mussels. But you've probably also heard of another type of mussel, which is your muscles. So another type of mussel is, of course, your muscles. And what does flex mean? This movement is called flexing your muscles, okay? So in this case, they're using that phrase to flex your muscles, but they've changed the word mussel, 鸡肉, for the type of seafood which they're trying to sell. So this does kind of work. We'll do some more of these in just a second, but first I want to give you a practical, realistic approach to how I would learn English if I were you. Okay, so first of all, you need to be increasing your input as much as possible. So if you're abroad, this is even more necessary. You need to be listening to English podcasts, watching English TV. Recently, I've posted a blog article about which TV shows that I recommend that you watch to learn a British accent. Next, you need to have time with native speakers. And if it's a friend you feel you can ask questions to, even better, like a language exchange type situation. You'll probably need to be structured with your language exchange, because what I tend to find is that we veer off and then after a while you're not really sure if you're actually learning anything and then you just give up. So make sure that you come into the session with an idea of what you're going to be talking about, maybe something that you've prepared in advance or some questions that you want to ask your language exchange. If you can't find a language exchange and you want more of a systematic structured input, then you need a teacher. We've got teachers. I have teachers for you that are fantastic, the best teachers around, very qualified, experienced teachers. SusieWoo.com is the place to go for that. Our materials, I also have to say, are fantastic. We teach British culture in a way that is so interesting. Like, I even want to take the classes because they're so fun. We're always updating the topics and keeping it current and keeping it fresh and sharing with you these little insights about how we think and how society is here. Like, so if you find this video interesting, you're going to find the classes way more interesting. And that's not even to mention all of the learning that will happen in terms of your English. So every week we've got 15 new words and phrases that are very colloquial that will definitely expand your vocabulary from where it is now. now, no matter your level. I'll be surprised if you think that you're super fluent in English. I'll be surprised if you don't learn something from our classes. Very surprised. And we give you flashcards, we give you audio recordings, we give you the PowerPoints and homework so that you've got tasks to do outside of class. That means the whole week you're going to be thinking about these topics. You're going to be absorbing this and learning about life as you go about. So if you're living in the UK, that's even better because you'll have opportunities to see how this fits into life, and you'll speak to someone, a native speaker, and you'll be able to talk to them more easily because you've learned about these topics. Someone's taken the time to teach you about how we think about stuff. So that's the Susie group tutorials, or the working holiday program that we've got, or the academic course that we have. Those are finishing in August, so head to the website now if you want to sign up for those. But another thing that I think is super worth trying is something called Toko. Now this is making use of the AI technology that's been developing over the past few years. I know you've all heard about this technology and you're curious about it, but how can it help you learn a language? Toko is the answer to that. From what I've seen, this is the best app around that can help you build the muscle of conversation and learn different ways of phrasing things in a safe environment without the risk of embarrassing yourself. So if you're someone who's extremely shy and you don't even want to come to our group tutorials where there's only 2 other students, like if you're not that bothered about the social aspect of learning, then I would really recommend trying this app. Other AI apps like this on the market tend to give you feedback on your pronunciation. This app is definitely dedicated more to conversation. So it'll give you loads of different scenarios to help you express your ideas, and then it'll give you feedback like, you could also say this in a different way. And it'll also teach you different phrases using the new learn phrases function. It'll also give you opportunities to use these phrases and check if you're using them correctly. So that's super useful for you to do on a daily basis. So outside of class time, when you're not speaking to anyone, like your language exchange or whoever, you can be building up this muscle, this practice of just, you have a thought and then you express it and you tell it to Toko, and then Toko will tell you how you're sounding and whether you can improve in any way. Now, once you've learnt the phrases that it teaches you, it can also get you to create a sentence. And this is one of the most useful functions. You can use that phrase, make your own sentence, and then get feedback on whether you're using it correctly or not. And then after that, you'll practice using it in a real conversation with the AI. So of course, when it comes to learning a language, little and often is definitely the key. So if you can spend a bit of time every day talking to Toko, I do think that you're going to improve much quicker as well. We're trying to attack this skill from all different angles. We've got your input, we've got your systematic learning of phrases and vocab, we've got you speaking to native speakers through classes or your language exchange, and then we've got this super useful AI tool to help you then practice that skill and build that muscle. All of these things that you're going to improve in your speaking and cultural awareness much quicker than if you just watch a few YouTube videos. That's all I'll say about that for now, and let's continue with our puns for today. Okay, so the next pun is actually another toilet paper company. I don't know why there's so many new toilet paper companies around. They're more eco-friendly alternatives, I think. This one is called Bamboo, and I thought that was quite cute because I'm assuming that this toilet paper is made out of bamboo, otherwise why would they call it that? So obviously bum is pugil, and it sounds like bamboo. Bamboo. So kind of a cute name. Next we have this bottle of bubble bath. So it's something you put in the bath to create bubbles. It says you're having a giraffe. So we have the phrase you're having a laugh. That means you must be joking. So I tell you something and you're like, no, you can't be serious. You must be joking. You're having a laugh. You've got to be having a laugh. Now, of course, laugh sounds a little bit like giraffe. So yeah, it's kind of cute, very random, I would say. This one is super cute. I love this one. It says 100% punami proof nights. The pun here is actually already an existing pun, so they've just used a word that sounds cute basically. Now punami sounds like tsunami. So a tsunami is a huge flood of water, right? Many waves coming out of the ocean. And poo, of course, we know what poo is. So su and poo sound a bit similar, so we can create this word punami, and it means a flood of poo. So it's just like a jokey word, like a recent slang word that's kind of appeared. It means if you poo yourself and there's just, I don't know, diarrhea everywhere, we could say that's a punami. We wouldn't actually use this in serious conversation. It's just like a joke word. So this advert for babies nappies says 100% punami proof nights. Now proof means like protected against, like waterproof means that you're not going to get wet, right? So punami proof means that these nappies are going to shield you from any punami situation. Next we have this wine shop. Okay, so they're selling bottles of wine, and the name of the shop is Grape Minds. Now you might have heard of the phrase great minds, like great minds think alike. That means that we are both smart and we both had the same idea because great minds think alike. So from this phrase, grape sounds like great, and of course grapes are used when making wine. So that's kind of a cute name for this shop. Next, we have this advert for eye screening, so scans for your eyes to check that they're healthy. And it says state-of-the-eye technology. Now, you might have heard of the phrase state-of-the-art. If something is state-of-the-art, it means it's of the highest technology, the highest quality. Like, wow, that building is state-of-the-art. It's cutting-edge technology. But switch the word art for eye, and of course, eye is relevant to this context. I wouldn't say it's funny though, to be honest. Maybe it's just interesting. Next, I was at a football match and I saw this written on the side in the crowd. It says taking the mickle. Now, have you heard of the phrase to take the mick? That means to take the piss out of something or to poke fun at, to laugh at something. So if I make a joke at your expense, like laughing at you, we could say that I'm taking the mick out of you. It's like poking fun of you, but in a cute, fun way. We could also say taking the mickey. So what is mickle? Well, mickle apparently is a former Nigerian football player, so they've used the footballer's name to make a pun here. So we can see that puns are just everywhere. They're so common, all over the place. Honestly, I see one like every day. Next, we have this one, which is outside a fast food restaurant called Leon. It says, kale yeah. You might have heard of the phrase, hell yeah. It's just an emphatic way of saying yes, or yeah, or great. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Originally from the US, I think. And then kale is a type of vegetable. So it sounds somewhat like hell yeah, kale yeah. Not quite, but you know, they're trying. They've managed to get across the point that the food is healthy and green, and also that they are excited about it, or that we should be excited about it. Next, we have this Pepsi advert. It says, thirsty for more. There are two meanings of the word thirsty. First is that you are wanting a drink, and the second is that you are just wanting something. And that thing that you're wanting might not necessarily be drink. This word has actually become a slang term recently. If you're thirsty, it can mean that you want sex. So yeah, just a slight pun here, I think. Next, on the same billboard at the same time of day, we have another pun which says, not your average couch potato. And this is an advert for crisps. Now, these pop chips are actually a different type of crisp. They're like air fried, I think, rather than deep fried. So they're supposed to be healthier for you. And so that's why it says it's not your average potato, because it's not like other crisps, it's different. And you might know the phrase couch potato. If someone is a couch potato, it means that they are very lazy and they just lie on the sofa all day and do nothing. That is a couch potato. Couch is another way of saying sofa, and I think they say it more in the US. So this means not your average crisps. At the same time, using this phrase couch potato, not because it's particularly relevant to the situation, but just because it sounds cute, I think. And they've got a little picture of a sofa with a little crisp on it. Next, this one I thought was quite funny. It says big dip energy. Dips are a type of sauce that you can dip your chips in, as advertised here in this picture. But there's a phrase recently, big dick energy.
Yeah, bitch, I could be a fantasy. I could tell you got big dick energy.
That originated a few years ago when Ariana Grande apparently talked about the size of her fiance's penis online, and then it just became a thing. So this phrase, big dick energy, means when you are very confident and not necessarily masculine, but just have that aura of self-confidence. You don't need to be messed with because you just naturally have that power, leadership, that kind of thing. I actually did like this pun because it was quite surprising. This was seen in a pub. It says, never look directly at the sun. Now, the Sun is a newspaper in the UK, which is famous for being outrageous, not factual, just like not a good newspaper to read by any stretch of the imagination. And so this poster says, never look directly at the sun, which of course means don't read this newspaper, but also we do have the phrase, don't look directly at the sun. If you look directly at the sun, you're going to burn your eyes. So never look directly at the sun. Okay, and that's all that I've collected so far. I hope you liked these. I hope you found them interesting. Not all of them are funny, but a lot of them are kind of, that's clever, that's funny, I see what you did there. So you could try these out. You could try and think of some and then share them with your native speaking friends. Chances are they'll probably like them, or at least they'll try and help you find a better version of your pun. It's quite an interesting thing to do. As you can see, not many words in English do actually sound like each other. So sometimes we're trying to clutch at straws and we're sort of stretching words and trying to fit them in boxes where they don't really fit. This seems to be a trend. All of the marketing agencies are doing it. Please let me know if you did enjoy this. I always love reading your comments where you enjoyed it. That makes me happy. 谢谢收看，我是戴淑轩，我们下次见。